Hello, everybody. It is Truth back in here with another video. Appreciate everyone here watching. Now, I wanted to go over an article, but it's about how environmental factors play a role in our mental health and everything that we go through. If you recall before, or if you've been to my website, you would know that I had made an article. It was based on the real cause of all these mental health problems. I said, is it biological, psychological, genetics, environmental, etc.? And I said that the main reason or the main cause would be the environment, because the environment plays a role in everything. If you have a positive environment, then you're not going to necessarily develop all of these issues that are going on. But when you're in a negative environment, that's when all these issues start to form. And if you think about therapy setting, right? One of the most important things you learn in counseling or therapy classes is about the therapeutic relationship. So the relationship between the client and the therapist or the counselor, and how that is the most important factor in successful treatment. That's the most, or one of the most factors that lead to successful treatment. So it's very less regarding all of the theories that you learn or the techniques that you use. The most important thing is that relationship. So it's a healthy environment. That's why you think after therapy is over, right? The turnout rate or the rate that people feel better only lasts a year, and then they have to go back. Some people it may be even shorter, but the reason is because they're out of that positive environment. Most people come in and they have an issue, and most likely it leads to some sort of environment that was unfavorable to them. Then they get put in this therapy or counseling environment, and now they're in a positive environment, so they start to feel better. They start to go deeper into the issue and find solutions to it. And then once they get out, they're back to that negative environment. So they didn't change the environment. They just gave you solutions or things to try out that will help you better deal with their environment. But it doesn't necessarily solve the negative environment that you're in. So that's just an intro. So let's get to the article. So here's the article. So how environmental factors impact mental health. So ranked as one of the leading causes of illness and disability around the globe, mental illness is a widespread health challenge. Approximately 1 in 4 people worldwide will suffer from a mental illness at some point in their lives. While there are still plenty of researchers and clinical psychologists alike who don't know about mental illness, one thing is for sure. These conditions are complex and multi-causal. Many people often assume mental illness runs in the family. This is true, but genetics are only a part of it. These disorders actually occur due to a combination of factors, including a person's environment and lifestyle. The world a person lives and functions within can play a major role in mental health. So there's two different. So there's physical environment and then your social environment. I'm paying more close attention to the social environment because I feel like that has more of a impact than the physical environment. But we'll go over the physical. So physical environment factors. Let's see. So if a person lacks resources, then they will go to whatever they have. It may not be the best resources. The example they give was nutrition. So if you're not access to healthy foods, you go to whatever food that you can have. But now let's get to the main thing. So social environment. Social environmental factors refer to socioeconomic, racial and ethnic and relational conditions that may influence a person's ability to cope with stress. Good example is not having a strong social support system. So usually people come in saying that they're lonely, they feel like they're not worth anything, and most likely it's because they don't have anyone around them, i.e. their environment, that is positive enough or that supports them enough. So they wouldn't have that. So that would be their issue. Let's say a person loses their job or goes through a divorce. Having supportive friends and family during this time is vital to their ability to cope with the stress. A lack of social support is just one type. Others include social stigma, history of abuse, family discord during childhood, early loss of a parent, poverty, lack of spirituality or religious affiliation, lack of meaningful work or hobbies, toxic relationships, and lack of self-care and or relaxation. Overall health and well-being require a good balance of mental, physical, social, emotional, and spiritual health. Although mental illness itself is heritable, a wide variety of factors like genetics, economic, social, and physical influences also contribute to the development of a disorder. All of these factors must be taken into consideration for a psychologist to effectively diagnose and treat mental illness. So if we look at environment, right, and we look at all the factors that they mention. So genetics, when you look at genetics, it's basically having, if you look at your family and there's like a history of something, right? So let's say if like your family had a history of like diabetes. So you would, let's say when you were born, since your family had a history of it, you have a higher chance of getting diabetes or having diabetes. But it doesn't mean that it's guaranteed. So your family could have made a lot of poor like health decisions, and then when you're born, you have a higher chance of also having that condition, but you can change it. It's not like it's 100% guaranteed. So you just have to change. You have to see the way your family was living and then change based on that. If anything was bad, you change it to like a positive thing. Because no one's perfect, so people are always going to make mistakes. They're not going to always do the positive thing. So on the side of genetics, so that environment still plays a role in genetics. So if you look at economics, also your environment plays a role in economics as well. So if you're not, let's say you don't have a lot of money, you're going to be in like a lesser, rougher neighborhood. Whereas if you had a lot of money, you would be in a more positive, uplifting neighborhood. So the economic also has the environmental factors as well. When you look at social, like your friend group, the people that you're around also plays a role, which is also the environment. Maybe you're in an environment where you didn't necessarily have a lot of people that could help or support you, or that was just relatable to you. Maybe you were like the person that was on the outside, like an outsider or an outcast. It's just that you didn't find like the people around you that were very similar or like you are. So in that case, to most people, that environment would not be negative. It'll just be a normal environment. But for you, it'll be a negative environment because you have no one to go to. And last but not least, physical. So essentially like your health. That also plays a role in your environment. So if you're around people that are not healthy or don't make healthy decisions, that's going to influence you to do the same thing. And all of these tie into environment. So each factor that they mention, environment's like a common theme in each one of those aspects. So it's like if you had a main idea and then you had subtopics, the environment would be your main idea, and like genetics, economics, social, physical would all be under under that environment, because the environment plays a role in each one of those factors, whether you look at it or not. So we can focus individually on each one of these factors, or we could just pay more close attention to the environment that we are in. So that is the end of the video. Let me know what you think about environment. Am I right by saying environment at the top and all the other factors are just subheadings? Or am I wrong? Maybe environment at the bottom and all of these issues are at the top. Do you think if we change our environment, a lot of people would feel better? And if so, how would we change our environment? Because that's a difficult thing to do. Would it be better for us to be better equipped to deal with the environment that we're in, positive or negative, or try to change the environment so it can benefit us? So let me know what you think. And that is the end of the video. I'll see you all in the next video. Truth signing out.